Hello, and welcome to the last day of Family Week with the Kelsey Museum of Archaeology. My name is Mallory, and I am the Community and Youth Educator here at the Kelsey. We hope you enjoyed all of the activities this week as we explored self-care, health, and wellness in the ancient world. During this pandemic, our health and well-being have been at the forefront of our minds. And one place where we can take care of both our bodies and our minds is in the kitchen. I know during this time I have done a lot of quarantine baking and cooking, so we are heading into the weekend with an ancient Roman dessert for the whole family. The Romans referred to their dessert course as mensa secunda, or second meal. These were usually sweet dishes like fruitcakes, pudding, sweet egg dishes, and sweet cheeses. Today, we are going to be making Pear Patina. A patina is technically the vessel that this dish was cooked in. It looks like a deep casserole dish with handles and would have been made in bronze. Today, we're going to use a traditional casserole dish. Our recipe comes from a collection of recipes known as Apicius, which is thought to have been compiled around the 1st century CE. The text is organized like a traditional cookbook, similar to Julia Child's Mastering the Art of French Cooking. It's organized by ingredient. Meat, poultry, fish, vegetables, and legumes are among the categories. Now today, we aren't going to follow the ancient Roman recipe exactly. We're going to adapt it a bit for modern day. The original recipe calls for garum, or fermented fish sauce, which was a favorite food in ancient Rome, but we're going to leave it out today. So let's get cooking. We're going to begin by preheating our oven to 350. Once our oven is heating, we can begin to prepare the pears. You can use any type of pear available at your grocery store, but Danjou and Boss pears are particularly good. Prepare the pears by peeling, halving, and coring 4 pears. We're going to place them flat side down in a medium saucepan. To cook the pears, we are actually going to poach them, cook them in liquid. You can use either plain water, or today I'm going to use a white wine. For the size saucepan that I have, about a cup of white wine or water will work for you. You want the liquid to be about halfway up the sides of your pears. I'm going to begin by pouring the wine directly over the pears into the saucepan. I'm going to turn my burner on to a medium-high heat and wait until the wine begins to simmer. At that point, I'm going to place a cover over the pan. Once you place the lid on the pears, you're going to want to cook them for several minutes. This can be anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes to 10 minutes, depending on the ripeness of the pears that you purchased. We're going to be pureeing the pears, so we don't want them to be too soft that they become mushy. I'm going to check how my pears are doing right now. So my pears give a little bit underneath my fork, so that means I'm going to flip them over, cover the pan again, and cook for just 2 more minutes. While my pears are finishing cooking, I'm going to prepare for the next step. Crack 3 eggs into a dish and whisk together. At this point, you can also add milk to the recipe, but that's optional. Today, we're going to leave the milk out. The milk will make the patina a little bit more creamy, and you will have to adjust your cooking time to add some time for the extra liquid. I'm also going to measure out half a cup of Vin Santo. Vin Santo is the closest approximation to passum, or a raisin wine, which is what is called for in the original recipe. Sometimes Vin Santo can be hard to find, so you can use port or Madeira. Today, I'm using port. You're also going to need a tablespoon of honey and cumin and pepper. There's some give with my fork, but still just enough firmness so that the pears don't become mushy. From here, you have a few options. To puree the pears, you can use a food processor, which is what I'm going to use today, or you can use a potato masher. So I'm going to transfer my pears into my food processor, leaving the wine or liquid that I have poached the pears in behind. Now that the pears are in my food processor, I'm going to use the pulse button to begin to break up the pears. You're going to want to open your food processor and scrape the sides to ensure that there are no big chunks of pear. I still have some pretty big chunks in here. I'm going to add in the port, or vin santo, a tablespoon of honey, and a pinch each of cumin and pepper. From there, I'm going to put my lid on, and then I'll turn the food processor on to finish the puree. It already smells really good. Once you have your pureed mixture, you're going to add in your egg and, if you've chosen to add milk mixture to the food processor. You're also going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. And then we're going to pulse this a few times to incorporate the egg and the pear mixture. All right, that looks good. I'm going to pour my pear mixture into my prepared casserole dish. So the mixture should look something like liquidy applesauce at this point. Now we're going to put the casserole dish into the oven and bake for 60 minutes. Your house is going to smell wonderful as this dish bakes. So our patina has been baking for about 50 minutes, so we're going to take it out of the oven and see what it looks like. Perfect. You will see that the edges have already begun to pull away from the edges of the casserole dish. That's what you want this to look like. Let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes before scooping out servings. And there you have it, Pear Patina from ancient Rome. Thank you for joining me today as we finish out Family Week with the Kelsey Museum of Archaeology. We hope you enjoyed all of this week's activities and this cooking demonstration of Pear Patina. You can find this recipe and others, as well as all of the activities from Family Week, on our Kelsey at Home webpage. We hope you had fun this week. We sure did. Have a great weekend and take care.